In the year 2024, we have a lot of successful black people. We have black people living all over this country in different places from AC to KC, Nebraska to Alaska. We have black lawyers, black doctors, black educators, black engineers. We have black people doing very good. They tend to focus on the underbelly of our class, but we have a large percentage of black people doing really good. And some of them are doing so good, they tend to forget that they're actually black living in America. They because of their talents, they afford certain privileges. But America will go out of their way at certain times to let you know that you are still a black American. And this girl right here, she got her Negro wake-up call. She was living, the high life, having fun in school, and was in an integrated school and hanging with all kinds of other groups. But she found out the hard way because she wanted acceptance so bad, this happened.
I was still in high school. I was so desperate for male validation and attention. I used to have a thing with this boy, and he used to call me the N-word, and I just let him. Not only did he call me the N-word, but he wanted me to call him my master as a term of endearment, and I did. He'll be like, "What's up, my little N-word," or "my little slave baby." And I'd be like, "Hey, master." Unsurprisingly, it turned out he never liked me, and I was just an inside joke between his friends.
A lot of times biracials, they tend to think everything is okay. They don't see the world a lot of times from the lens of an African American, a black American, until they get their wake up call. But over in the UK, there's a situation going on where now there's rioting in the streets. There's things going on where the people of the UK are upset because they're saying that Muslims are coming in and taking over the country. They're overrunning the country. But then there's a situation where a young man that was born in the UK, but his family is from Rwanda. He took a knife and unalived 3 little W girls. And it's causing riot in the streets. There's pandemonium. There's just a whole bunch of stuff, going crazy to the point where it's looking like this.
He arrived at court with huge security around him. The teenage defendant was in the white prison van, so far anonymous, but about to be named publicly. Axel Rudakabana is 17, British, born in Wales and of Rwandan heritage. He faces 14 charges, including possession of a kitchen knife with a curved blade. The most serious, the of BB King, Elsie Stankham and Elise Agia. The attempted of 8 other young children stabbed during a holiday dance and yoga class in Southport on Monday.
So, in light of this situation with the young Rwandan boy that went and unalived these 3 little girls, there's been riot in the streets and Muslims are starting to be attacked. And somebody that really spoke up about this and took umbrage with this was Andrew Tate. And Andrew Tate, we know that he converted to Islam some time ago. He was born in the UK. He has a mother that's from there, but he also has an African-American father. And, he parades around like he's a W man, but when things hit the fan, it will be let known that you're not one of them. You're not like them. And he started to speak out and defend Muslims. And the people in the UK are very upset, very upset. And he went on to say, if Islam is the problem, why are UAE, Qatar, Bahrain, etc. so safe? Bad government is the problem. Bad government is the problem, not Islam. A lot of people in the UK didn't take too kindly to this. Perhaps, then he also went on to say, perhaps it's because I'm mixed race that I'm so anti-violence. Uh-oh. I can't adhere to any ideologies that allows half of my family to suffer, the white or the brown. We need peace, unity, and understanding who really sold us out. Do not turn on each other. So a lot of people is very upset. But then he took on to a social media and he went and said this.
It's amazing to see everybody falling into the Matrix's trap. I have Muslims messaging me about how I need to take their side. I have the British messaging me about the fact that I was raised in the UK and I should take the British Patriots side. I've made it clear that I think people should only enter the country legally, and I believe that people who who were natively born to a land have a right to that land. And for it to be conquered by military-age males from far away is going to be upsetting and distressing to any red-blooded male on the planet. However, this false dichotomy of sides, choose a team, is exactly what the Matrix wants. Because I'm going to tell you what is going to happen for certain by the end of this. If the two teams continue to fight each other, absolutely nothing will be achieved. 95% of people who are on the streets have legitimate concerns that they want to be voiced and heard and respected. Probably on both sides of the equation. And then there's going to be a small contingent on both sides, which are going to be violent and have knives and guns, etc., etc. Those are going to be the ones highlighted by the media. Those are going to be the ones who are purported out to be being told they were the whole group. Everybody was like these people. They're mindless. They're senseless. They have no point of view. They have no legitimate concerns. They just love violence. That's going to be the media spin. And what the UK government is going to do by the end of this whole scenario, unless people get their act together and realize that the problem is actually the elites in Westminster and not the people they live amongst, is that there's going to be no more right to protest, no more right to assemble, stricter rules about speech online, stricter rules about having a point of view, and you're going to find more and more people having their doors knocked in the middle of the night by police officers and taken to cells for saying things which are legitimate and which are true because they have concerns about the safety of their children. More people are going to end up being charged with hate speech or some kind of inciting to violence or some other kind of subjective garbage to prevent anybody from voicing their opinion anymore. And the elites are sitting there in their ivory castle laughing because you have the poor browns fighting the poor whites, and they know by the end of it they'll have all the excuses they need to just take away more freedoms from everybody, the poor browns and the poor whites. That's how it's going to end. You can't preach the idea of a multicultural society, then ignore the views and concerns of one particular culture within that multicultural society, especially if you're pandering to those of another culture, and especially if the culture being ignored is the native culture. You can't do that without expecting violence. Perhaps you'd ask, maybe they do expect violence. Maybe they want to, because the answer to it all is just going to be Keir standing up saying, we need tougher laws, 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 laws. And those laws will be abused because laws are always abused by the government. So they're going to say it's for your safety, but eventually the laws are going to be abused to prevent you from ever having a point of view on anything ever again, ever expressing your opinion on anything ever again. And it's not only going to be the white people who are suppressed, it's going to be the other side who are suppressed also. We're all just going to end up in the same mush. You know, I've traveled the world enough to see, guys, I promise you, it's rich versus poor. It's not poor black versus poor white. It's not poor brown versus poor white. It's rich versus poor. There are people in the world who have no interest at all in the sanctity and safety of society. They're interested in protecting only their money and their profits, and they're going to allow the streets to run with blood to do that. Those are the problem, much more than the people you live amongst. I don't think we're going to be able to convince anybody of that in time to stop this violence, but it's the truth of the situation. And unless everybody gets together and understands that, the future is going to be quite dystopian for the common man. Because if all these people rioting were instead outside of Westminster demanding change from politicians, then we might get change from politicians. But this ant-on-ant fighting isn't going to work. You know, there's a really interesting analogy. If you put black ants and red ants in a jar, they don't fight until you shake the jar. Because then they get mad. And they say, who shook our jar? And they start to kill each other. Because the black ants think the red ants shook the jar, and the red ants think the black ants shook the jar. Truthfully, neither of them shook the jar. Someone else did, who wanted them all to fight in the first place.
So Andrew Tate, hypocritical stuff, because he spent a lot of time online criticizing black people, talking down on black women, just talking about a lot of different things. Now, when I first saw him, I didn't even know that he was mixed race. I didn't know what he was. At first, I thought maybe he was like Eastern European. He just had a tan or something. I didn't know that he had a black father. But y'all remember when he came online and he spoke about Juneteenth, and he said Juneteenth isn't a real holiday, it's ratchet, blank bull-ish, But he started to get his wake-up call because people in the UK really started to go in on him and call him out, to the point where it hurt his feelings. And he said, this is the first time in my life I'm getting serious racist insults for being brown from white people in the UK. They went on to tell him, you are brown though. you are pink or beige. Account of the Secretary General of the Muslims World League. Talk about an ultimate backfire. Somebody else said don't let this rat backtrack after he caused the riot in the UK against Muslims. He's a piece of crap. So like they tearing him up and they calling him a rat. They saying you're brown, but this is what he get. Then somebody said, OJ Smoke, you have an utter lack of self-awareness. You're the son of a black man and a professed Muslim. Do you really think these right-wingers would respect you? They might humor you because you're sometimes funny, but you are their enemy. And you're incredibly naive not to see it. Jose Solana said, it's the liberals' fault, but you blank skins are coming into the country, taking up the resources, blank, killing kids, unaliving kids while you're there. The United Kingdom is for whites, and you're not welcome. So these people are really tearing into him. But this, again, on the internet, you could be the butcher, the baker, the candlestick maker. I guarantee you off the internet, he knows who he is. His father's black. He knows that. But he can pass sort of for white, so he came on there and placated to them. And, you've seen him with all these W women, the cars. He's over there in Romania. He's running all this. But as soon as something hit the fan, they turn right on him. They turn right on him. So now, and they're telling him, you don't belong here with us. The guy said, the UK is for W folks, not for you. They didn't like him. They didn't like him at all. He was being called out. But again, like I said, these people online will do anything to get away from their blackness. Anything to get away from their blackness. But it always comes back to backfire on them. I was never an Andrew Tate fan. I always knew that was a crock of crap. All that stuff was bull crap, man. But like I said, these people are able to get followers from squares, from people that's never been considered cool, people that can never get the woman they want, people that that was looking for some action. So these people was exciting. So all they did was people weakness in the game and come exploit it. That's all Andrew Tate was, man. Andrew Tate was a fraud from the start. I seen him a mile away coming. Like, he wasn't saying nothing that I ain't hear in the hood from the OGs. I didn't need Andrew Tate to tell me nothing. But now he's getting his Negro wake-up call. Now he's getting his Negro wake-up call. And we heard that crap that you were saying over there with Fresh and Fit about our community. And when Fresh and Fit talked down on blacks, you didn't defend it. You didn't say anything. So now you get what you get. I'm going to cut this video short here, man. If you made it that far in this video, hit the like button. Subscribe to Street Media TV, man. Leave your comments in the comment section. Let me know what you guys think. Remember, I love y'all. Till the next time. Peace.